'Cause that should be upside down. Now, we know better now, don't we? The devils don't come from hell beneath us, no. No, they come from the sky.
Superhero films have undergone some transformation in recent years. Some movies have shattered our preconceptions of what a typical comic book flick should look like by showing us the emotional complexity and flaws of seemingly perfect characters. But Batman v Superman was one of the first modern comic book films to tackle this issue. It was incredibly divisive, critics hated it, but what I loved about it was how it presented Lex Luthor in an entirely new light.
The bittersweet pain among men is having knowledge with no power, because that is paradoxical, and thank you for coming.
Lex is more than just your average power-hungry bad guy. At his core, he's consumed by a deep-seated need to prove himself, to be seen as important, believing that he alone can save humanity from the unchecked power of Superman. And it's this belief in his superiority that drives his actions. He may seem like a typical villain with a god complex, but there was more to him. As with all good characters, his personality was rooted in deep-seated issues, likely stemming from a traumatic childhood.
God is tribal. God takes sides. No man in the sky intervened when I was a boy to deliver me from Daddy's fist and abominations. I figured out way back. If God is all-powerful, he cannot be all good.
Despite his outward arrogance, his belief in his own greatness masks a deep sense of inadequacy and inferiority. The emotional scars left by his father are actually seen throughout the film, giving him an extra layer of complexity. It's one of the reasons why BVS is such a remarkable movie. It takes familiar characters and breathes new life into them, making them more intriguing and less predictable. Rather than resorting to tropes and cliches, the film went into the characters' psyches, revealing unexpected motivations and vulnerabilities. Now, despite his immense wealth and insatiable thirst for knowledge, Lex was driven by his own ego, willing to put innocent lives at risk to achieve his goals. He struggles with the problem of evil, ponders over the nature of Superman's existence and the greater good. He was a philosopher, historian, and a man who, despite his many flaws, is still capable of deep insights.
Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. I love it. I love bringing people together. How are we?
Lex.
Hello. Good. Hi. Hello. Lex, it is a pleasure. Ow! Wow, that is a good grip. You should not pick a fight with this person.
But lurking beneath the surface of his facade is a grim reality. His past appears to have inflicted emotional wounds so deep that he's incapable of experiencing genuine empathy or some form of compassion, becoming a self-centered and manipulative person hell-bent on fulfilling his own desires at all costs. And when he effortlessly sacrifices his secretary, we're all hit with the cold realization of just how evil this man can be. In the film, Lex is consumed by his own ego, which fuels his every move. He simply cannot stand the thought of someone being better than him, especially not Superman. So he's determined to bring Superman down, even if it means causing chaos. Even with his remarkable intellect and perspective, he knows he lacks the physical strength and abilities Superman has, which leaves him feeling helpless and frustrated. He knows he sees the world differently from most people, but he's powerless to make any meaningful impact, not like Superman can. Now, this realization is actually ironic because Lex is gifted with this incredible insight, but he's a mere bystander, watching as others, like Superman, with godly powers, shape the world as they see fit. But ultimately, Lex's goal was for people to see Superman for what he really is, a fraud. He believed that God is tribal and takes sides, so he couldn't see Superman as an absolute symbol of moral virtue. To him, no one can be all good, which is what he needed to prove to the world and, ironically, to himself. But Lex's concerns about Superman, albeit non-existent, were actually legitimate from his perspective. He successfully manipulated the chaos the uncertainty of Superman's existence created by controlling people's fears. First, it was fear of Batman, and then fear of Superman. He engineered scenarios that directly caused a massive divide in public opinion against Superman. Lex fancied himself a hero, and his inability to distinguish right from wrong motivated his actions. Batman experienced a similar struggle. After 2 decades of fighting crime, he didn't realize that he had become what he was fighting against. So in the end, Lex is a character defined by his contradictions. But it's also one of the reasons he was so intriguing to watch.